There.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Gear Gryden.
Hey, Gear Gryden.
Yeah, I hope it produces so much I get tired of it. I would love to be able to can my own stuff, but usually don't get enough. Can I just tell you, and don't get mad, people. I tried all this organic stuff on my strawberries and I pulled out the chemicals. That's it. And I was like, I'm not losing them.
Yeah, that's called breaking out the big. Yeah, you got to.
Hey, Suburban Hillbilly.
Hey there. Welcome, welcome. I don't have tons of bugs yet.
That's good.
Yeah, but so we've got snakes. We've come across 2 copperheads in the last week. Good morning, Gear Gryden. Good to see you, friend.
Ew.
Yeah. 2. So my husband killed one, and the other one my daughter found in the shed.
Oh, I saw that.
Our food. Hey, Butler Family Farm.
Hey, Butler Family Farm. Hope you're doing well.
Did you see it? What did she put? Because I don't do Instagram. So what did she put?
I don't remember, but I just remember seeing it. Ooh.
Did she tell you in the Instagram how pretty she thought it was and that it seemed really nice? Because
no,
it didn't. Okay. No. Only as parents know this stuff.
Yeah.
We're like, what?
Yeah, no, it's not pretty.
And then, when Larry killed the snake, he's like, well, I got one of them, but it's not the same one that they saw because the picture, theirs was bigger. And it smells like cucumbers in the shed. Remember how they say it's supposed to smell like cucumbers?
No.
Yeah. They do. Copperheads, they will smell like cucumbers. So he sent her the picture and said, got one. She's like, Dad, I don't want to see that. I'm telling you, our daughter is an animal lover from birth. She used to want to carry around a little rubber black mouse with red eyes. I mean, she wasn't into Barbies, and she liked this little black mouse with eyes that some people would think was like a Halloween thing. Hey, Hooga. Hey, Herb and Bucket Homestead. Good to see you.
If you kill the copperheads, please bury the heads deep in the ground. The poison stays active and can still poison any human or animal that comes in contact with it.
Did you hear that, honey? If you kill a copperhead, bury the head deep in the ground because the head still has poison in it that stays active and can harm any human or animal that comes in contact with it. Right. Good to know. Thank you for sharing. He said there wasn't much of a head left, but he'll keep that in mind. I'm glad your knee is doing better, Butler.
Yeah, good to know, Jerry.
That's
Rebecca
awesome.
at Suburban Hillbilly said any venomous snake.
Any venomous snake. Okay. You know, when we lived in Arizona, now we would see, like, when we were down in the valley and we'd go to, like, you know, the hot lakes, canyon. Remember, I'm reading this book, so I have memory issues. When we'd go to those lakes down there, we would see like rattlesnakes. There was a rattlesnake cove that we went to, was the name of it. And this is like out in the desert, right? What was the name of the lake that we always, I hate it when this happens. So we went to Lake Pleasant, and my husband's favorite lake, and he's not in here to tell me what it is now, but we would see rattlesnakes. Bury it deep. We will, Hooga. When we lived in northern Arizona, supposedly there would be timber rattlers up there, is what they said. And you guys, we shared some videos of us going out hiking. That was almost a daily thing for us. So maybe I'm exaggerating. That was a 3 to 4 times a week thing for us, to go out into the woods and just walk. And we didn't always, make it real hard for us to go out and walk. We never saw a snake. That's my whole point. Okay. And we, like in northern Arizona, it's kind of cool because you don't have to stay on a trail. You can go wander off anywhere. The forests at 7,000 feet, the only thing growing up there is ponderosa pines. Maybe some oak trees about this big around. But
Aspen
it's not.
And ponderosa.
Yes, ma'am. You nailed it. And so here, I've not been like real adventurous with getting off of any trails. in our woods yet. I need snake boots. I haven't bought snake boots yet, but it makes you
snakes
nervous
startle me
because
too.
it's so. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Alive show or Survive or, something like that, where there was one guy that went on there and he was actually from Arizona and he had been in the service and he went over to, where everybody else went to, Afghanistan and all that whole area. And he was joking with his family. If there's a bear, they got to watch the bear, not me and all this. Well, they put him in a place that looked like out here where we're at now. At the woods, and he didn't even stay one night there because he found bear scat and hurt bears and stuff. But when you're desert acclimated and you come up here to this stuff with the woods and all the leaves on the ground and all the different trees and the vines growing in between them and all of this, it takes some getting used to for sure.
Thankfully, we've only seen one, and it was deceased in the driveway. It must have got run over by one of the trucks coming in. And we do have rattlesnakes here. We tend to see them more in the plains than here, but we don't have stacks of wood.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Huga.
Thanks, Huga.
Now, the one my husband saw, he was down feeding the goats and it just went right in front of him, just kind of slithered right in front of his foot. And he happened to have a rake in his hand because he'd been cautious about getting the hay out of the shed because we know that there's one in there. And so he was able to kill that one. It didn't. We have discovered they really are not aggressive, which is a wonderful thing to know, considering,
Yeah,
that they're poisonous and they're like the main snake that bites anybody, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerry, I've heard that, but I still don't like them. I remember them in North Carolina. Lord have mercy. It's funny. We have never had a snake in the chicken coop. And I always see people posting on Instagram about, snakes in the chicken nests and all that. And we have limited electricity. And we had to have the heat lamps on for the piglets. We have the electric fence going. And since our solar one, the battery died, we've got it plugged in. So you can imagine we're trying to run extension cords all over. And so I had to shut the light off in the coop so we could use the electricity from there. And last night, again, for the past few nights, I've been reaching in the nesting boxes in the dark and I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Now that we're warm enough, the heat lamps are off. The babies are older. We're in the 60s at night, but we're up about 80s, 90 during the day. Hey, Homestead in the Wood with Dee.
Hey, Dee.
And
thank you for coming.
So it's nice because we've got less of an electric load.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we won't. I mean, now we know we're really watching for them, and I've got to do my Saker review because I got one of those mini chainsaws, and down there by the goats, there's like this area. It's got a lot of leaves and it's got some real tiny, thin trees that are kind of growing up, and we're going to get that kind of cleared just to make it a little safer for everybody when they're going down there to feed the animals.
Yeah. I thought of you yesterday on a different topic. I thought of you yesterday, right? Hey, Ark Wildman.
Hey, Ark Wildman.
So yes, I thought of you yesterday. Why? Because the meat birds have reached the age of stank.
Oh no.
So they're in the garage and I put new shavings down every day for them. They are already, I love to eat them, but they are already the most disgusting birds. And Ryan says to me, he goes, "Is this our last batch of meat birds?" And I said, "No, because they're good, but I am done." They are so different than regular chicks.
They are.
And I just wish they would they need more feathers to be outside. Yeah, exactly. Suburban hillbilly. They need more feathers because they're only 2 weeks old. But yeah, I think we're down to
you got 50 of them. I mean,
yeah, we're down to 41.
Oh yeah.
But I will say Hoover's hatchery was absolutely amazing. They have a 48-hour guarantee. So I emailed them when I had some deceased birds on arrival. I emailed them every time a bird died, and they just kept refunding me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. Whereas normally we buy them in the
Yeah.
store, you don't get a refund.
Uh-huh.
So that was good. And unfortunately we lost one of the Morans. So we're
Mm-hmm.
down to 4 of them. But yeah,
Dang
I
it.
just need them to get more feathers really quick because they
Yeah.
are vile.
Oh no.
They're so
Yes.
different than
Mm-hmm.
regular chickens. It is so wild.
Yep.
But anyway, the cool
Mm-hmm.
part about it'll be nice when they get outside. It'll be so much
Mm-hmm.
better.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
it's hot
we have,
enough. We don't need the heat lamps. So
yeah. We're thinking we're gonna get like 20 of them. Hey, broke cowgirl.
hey, Gwen.
And everybody, only because we plan on getting them again in the spring. So we really only need enough to kind of get us through.
Yeah,
And
we figure one a week, and because we get
mhm.
several meals out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
South Dakota, Jerry, and no, it's not warm enough to put them outside at night. That's the concern because
Mm-hmm.
at night we can get down in the 50s and the 40s. We've only been in the
Mm-hmm.
60s this week because we're having a heat wave, but they're still
Yeah.
showing. They can show 60s, and then all of a sudden we'll be 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the concern is nighttime, so I'm gonna wait
Mm-hmm.
for a while. No, and if I put them outside in a stock tank, they'll be gone. Something
Mm-hmm.
will get them.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, that's what's nice about being higher up in elevation. You can get the hot days, but you always get the cool nights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Yep. We had a mega storm come through last night, and
Agree,
it
Jerry. It is hot here.
we weren't supposed to have any rain, and then all of a sudden I got all these millions of alerts about a warning,
Mm-hmm.
and it knocked down a lot of branches in the yard because the
Oh, shoot.
wind. Listen to this
Mm-hmm.
wind. Hang on a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It was dark, so you can't see it, but I had posted on Instagram. So hang on a minute.
Oh my God. Holy cow.
We had
Oh my
had
gosh.
like seriously, it was like 60-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah. Jeesh. You're like, my plants. How's your greenhouse holding up to that?
The greenhouses are
Greenhouses.
the one greenhouse, the mobile one the doors kept blowing open, so I ran out and tied them shut.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, everything held up. We're just thankful. Last Monday, which was a week ago,
Uh-huh.
there was baseball size hail heading for us, and it went south of us, and it
Oh, thank goodness.
smashed windows and roofs
Oh
and
my
everything like
gosh.
that. Oh yeah,
Holy
it's
cow.
so thankful that it didn't hit our greenhouses. Did pigs fly? No, the pigs did not fly.
Harkwell, man, that's so
But I was up watching because I wanted to make sure piglets were not out in case we got hail.
Yeah.
And branches, they didn't get hit with branches and trees and all
hurt
that
those
stuff.
babies.
So I don't know. I went to bed a little after midnight.
I'll bet.
Just waiting for the storm.
We had another hailstorm come through here with like nickel-sized hail, and messed up our American flag. We got to get a new American flag.
Oh no!
Punched holes in our flag.
Oh no!
Yeah, isn't that awful?
That's awful. That's awful.
But I mean, it didn't damage our vehicles, so the flag is more easily replaced than anything else. But
yeah, here
we gotta get that.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we got to get that flag replaced. That's on my schedule to do today is order a new flag.
Here the car dealerships have been hit so bad in Rapid City with hail that the insurance companies forced them to put up awnings over the vehicles.
Wow.
And which is smart. I mean, because it saves them the trouble. But it's just like,
unless it blows sideways. I mean,
then that's different. But at least they've got the awnings up. But I mean, windshields, roofs, everything gets destroyed. But south of us, they got hit so bad.
Oh my goodness. That's what we see. Arkansas, Ark Wildman. I know it is hot there. man, I feel like you guys get the brutalest weather. My husband's always, keeping tabs on the weather he's like taking that responsibility on to keep the family safe and know what's coming and all of that. And Arkansas does they get hotter. It's hotter. They get the tornadoes more. My goodness.
Yep.
Oh yeah, true. Flags are at a better price now after July 4th. True. I didn't think of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did your outdoor garden, how did it fare with the hail?
Good.
And how's it
We
doing?
didn't get anything big, so it handled it pretty well. A lot of the plants you can see have the hail damage.
Yeah.
But I've given
But
up.
they
I
lived.
removed the hail netting and
Mm-hmm.
from most of it, the
Yeah.
big one, because it's just at some point I can't. I got to let something go. I can't worry about it. But I will say that the heat that we're getting, because we've been 90 yesterday and Sunday, and the good news is like everything is all of a sudden like, let's go. But yeah, I mean, they can say that we're not getting hail and then we get it. So that's really how it goes. You don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know, because we usually get it at the beginning of the storm and the end of the storm is what we've noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I noticed about the weather here, your garden, yeah. Now I have like a new respect for that when the thunder rolls song.
Yeah.
Because it does. The thunder rolls here and it just keeps going and keeps going. It's a rather frightening thing when you're not totally accustomed to it. We're getting used to it, but man, some scary storms out here. Sheesh.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And Ryan was saying the other day, we were talking yesterday actually with our neighbor, and we were like, we have such a new appreciation for water being out here.
Yes. Yes. I know. The way I still wash my dishes, the way that I washed my dishes in Arizona, I still conserve water. And I can't help it. Like, you just get acclimated to that, when you have to.
Right.
And yeah.
Frozen water bottles to the bunnies. Nice.
Aw.
I bought ice yesterday too, because what I've been doing with the pigs is I go out every couple hours and hose them down. FYI, from the rump up, always, because you can shock them and kill them.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah, if you're using really cold water. I don't, because it's water that we've hauled. And so what I do is I start at their rump and it starts to cool off, and then you go up.
Huh, that's good to know.
Yep.
Yes, Gwen, exactly.
That's funny.
When we were in between houses, we stayed in our, we had a fifth wheel that we stayed in for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. And that's how you do. There's a certain way you wash dishes. There's a certain way you shower, to conserve water. And I mean, I would assume everybody kind of knows what that is, but like, you put shampoo in your hair, you turn the water off, and you shampoo your hair, and then you turn the water on to rinse your hair, and then you turn the water off to shave your legs. I mean, this is what you do, so the water's not just running while you're in the shower.
Yep.
Definitely doesn't make for as wonderful as a showering experience as you might otherwise get. Oh, Ark Wildman said he always makes sure their snout is wet first.
Yeah, I don't know. I read a whole thing, because I admit I used to just hit them with the water, and they were like, no. They said always hit them from the rump up, because the rump can tolerate it versus like the head and the snout. I don't know. Like I said, my water's not shocking cold, so they're fine. But I read this thing about, you were talking about dishes. I read this thing about dishwashers. That if you run it on an efficient cycle, you use less water than you would to wash dishes in the sink.
Really?
Yeah. So I have
maybe
to admit,
you do.
I have to admit, and even if it doesn't save water, I'm doing it. I wash my dishes in the dishwasher once it's full. Because to me, it's a lot quicker.
Yeah. It is. I've just never done, I've always been the dishwasher. Even when my girls were young, we had a dishwasher and they hated that I'd want them to wash the dishes by hand.
Yeah.
They hated that. Every now and then I would use the dishwasher and, kind of treat them with that. And so Katie, now that she's got, the big family, she's washing her dishes by hand. And it's funny because now I'm telling her, honey, just use the dishwasher. You've got enough to do. You got 3 little bitty ones.
Yeah.
Use the dishwasher. And now
Yep.
she wants to wash them by hand.
Oh, geez.
I know. See how that works? I don't know what it is. I guess it's just that feeling of, knowing that they're clean with your hands.
Yeah. I like them because I put them in the dishwasher and
Oh, shoot, Gwen, that's not good. Leaks it all out on the floor. Yikes. It is.
It needs the seals redone.
Mm.
Yeah. Gwen, I know, has had enough of that heat that they're having. I know for me, though, it's like, and I'm sorry, Gwen, I know it's been brutal on you. I don't know how you deal with it. But those folks down south are dealing with that heat. But I got to tell you, I'm not, like Butler Family Farm says, I am not wishing away the cool weather. But then again, Jerry, if you look at where Gwen is, she's not going to get it as cold. But it's just, I'm not wishing it away. I'm hoping this is a mild winter.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I've been enjoying it. I am not. I just don't want that negative.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little different than here in the Midwest. I mean, it gets hot, but we have cooler days. It's not like this long stream in Arizona and Texas, I think is the same. Once it's summertime, you're hot and you stay hot. I mean, when I was talking to my daughter, she's like, oh, thank goodness, it's going to be down to 100 degrees. She was so excited it was going to be down to 100 degrees in like 5 days or something because they've been at 118. And you can feel it makes the 100 degrees just nice.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. But it's also a dry heat. So what it'll say is like, we're all used to here. Like I know Ark Wildman's spoken to it before. You could have 90 degrees and it feels like 95 or 97 because of the humidity.
Yeah.
But in Arizona, because there's no humidity, 100 degrees might feel like 92, which is kind of nice. Yes. That's what
ridiculous.
Gwen's saying. Yeah, that's awful. We get breaks. Here, which is really nice.
Yeah, suburban hillbilly, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I will take dry over humidity any day. It used to be so humid in Connecticut. Even North Carolina. But so much different. Same thing with the cold. Because the cold here is so much different. Like the cold in Connecticut with the high humidity level, it was like it just went through your bones. Here it doesn't do that. That's why you see me half the time. It's rare. The only time you see me bundled up is when we have that extreme weather. I mean, I have coveralls and the thought of putting them on drives me nuts. Yeah. So I only put it on when we have the negative whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to get myself some this year. Everybody had them but me. And I felt almost trapped in the house because it was so dang cold. Like I didn't even want to go out on the porch. It was so dang cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that again. But I guess nothing's ever perfect.
I'm still sitting here I know you were on my live Friday night. I forgot to put the soap in the bathroom and I'm wondering why it smells so good. And I'm smelling that soap.
Aw. That's awesome.
I had to leave the garden the other day. I was out there 15 minutes, thought I was going to suffocate. Yeah, that is brutal. Yeah. I can't deal with that stuff. Camo coveralls.
Yep. Camo coveralls. That's what I need.
Gwen says her garden's on its own. If I'm wearing a winter coat, most people are wearing a winter coat, jacket. Yeah, same gear riding. I usually just wear a hoodie all winter. I grew up in New York City, so it's like it was rare that I ever wore a jacket. No, I wasn't drinking out of a brown bag. I've got here. Hang on, Jerry. No, I showed these on my live Friday night. I got to put them in the bathroom. They're so cute. Little pig in a mud hole.
I love those. I want to do it. I want to do that.
Yeah, me too. I was looking up.
I want to do embeds. Mm-hmm. I know sometimes they'll do embeds with melt and pour soap because poof, it's ready. You make it, it's ready. You know, I just don't know how that's like. Obviously, the melt and pour soap embed is going to probably dissolve quicker, but still, I'm probably going to try it. I want to try that and see how they mingle together, the cold process with the melt and pour.
You guys are so funny. It's funny. There's a reel on Instagram. There's a reel on Instagram that shows this girl, and the caption is this is the right way to pronounce tequila, and she goes to
oh!
She just gags.
Oh, that's so funny.
But yeah, it smells so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you guys in the chat, like, what are some of your goals? You've been working on stuff. I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm. Anything that you put off that you are thinking you want to do, or anything you put off that you finally did? For me, it was making that cold process soap. Like, I could tell you all about cold process soap. I've been studying that crap for about 5, 6, 7 years. I don't even know how long. And I am not kidding. It's ridiculous. Had to make sure I knew everything. It's like I guess that's my personal way of procrastination. Wait, I need to learn more.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Jerry, I hope that comes quickly for you, but don't push it. You push it too fast, your healing process, and then you end up re-injuring yourself. Don't do that, whatever you do.
Gwen's trying to find as many ways as she can to use up milk. Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's a nice place to be in, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to sell piglets. I've got 14 of them.
My husband won't let me commit him to a drive right now. And he's not anxious to commit himself to having to build the pen for the pigs this year.
Mountain Grandpa, I know you can hear me.
Oh, he's actually outside, but
okay, well, he needs some pigs.
We do.
I told somebody yesterday they needed 5. Rhonda at Farm Honey on Instagram, she said something about, oh, they're so cute. I said, I think you need 5. I said, I'll give you a really good deal.
Cute. They are so dang cute.
Gear Griden. Oh, Homesteads and Wood D. Fried green tomatoes. People make green tomato relish.
Salsa.
Yep. I don't, because the acidity is nasty for me. It doesn't work well.
Acidity. Pickle them. I love all things like pickled. Matter of fact, on my to-do list is pickling jalapenos.
Yep. See, Gear Griden fence posts, and pallets will hold a pig in. Green tomato ketchup, chow chow.
Oh, you're getting some great suggestions in here, Dee. Green tomato ketchup, loving that one. Chow chow, love that in beans.
What do you mean no pigs here ever, Jerry?
Cattle. Oh, well, he's got his hands full with cattle and goats. I mean, and llamas.
Okay.
That's probably what it is.
My goal is to remember that I'm getting the deck replaced next week. I have to remember not to go out that door with the dogs next week. Yeah, seriously, lock that door.
Oh, how nice for your new deck. We have our decks. That's something that I want to do. But when I say I want to do it, we all know who's doing it, right? Like, it's going to be mostly my husband. But we need to get the 2 decks repainted because it's down to the bare wood. Water and wood don't mix. Got to get those done. So I'm excited for you with your new deck. Not to go out that door with the dogs next week. 7-foot drop. Holy smokes. Don't go out the door. Yikes.
Gear Griden said he's weed eating, pulling beans.
Chow chow. You're too funny here.
Plan something, cook supper, then do nothing after that but hydrate. Yeah, that's pretty much my goal. I just get everybody fed and deal with it. I have to go get shavings today after this.
I'm with you. I think I only planted one pepperoncini plant, and I guess maybe it's the one that doesn't have any peppers because I'm not seeing those, but yes, those darn flies. I'm surprised I don't have one on me today because usually I do.
Oh my gosh. I sit on my couch with a whatchamacallit, a fly swatter.
Holy cow, Jerry. That is a lot of animals.
That's awesome. We
That
don't
is
have as
awesome.
many this year. We don't have as many this year at all. Hey, sassy gal prepping. Yeah, we don't have many at all.
Okay, so there's a pepperoncini. I didn't know that. That's cool. I'm gonna have to look those up.
Pepperoncinis are good.
Hey, sassy gal, good to see you.
Here,
Shishito peppers.
I'm gonna give you guys a tip.
Do.
If you build any kind of building, make sure if any screws stick through, you cut them off. We do, but in that little calf hut that we bought for where Norman was and Eleanor was, yeah, stupid me. Apparently they didn't cut the screws off, and I stood up and hit my head on one. I would love a 1-year-old jack, but I can't.
Wait, what's a jack?
A donkey or mule or whatever.
Oh my gosh, I would love one.
I want one so bad.
Oh, I love a donkey. Oh my God. I do too. We had one named Freddie, and it was, he was just the sweetest thing. And I say he was ours, but he wasn't really ours. We rented at the time, and he was our landlord's, and he said, "Can I keep the donkey here?" And we were like, "Of course." So Freddie stayed with us, so he wasn't really our donkey, but he was so dang cute.
Yeah, and a Jenny is a female.
I'll have to tell my hubby.
If anybody needs piglets or anybody wants an unregistered Kuni boar, let me know. Because I think we're going to move towards a registered boar. We'll see.
Technically, it's my MILs. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay.
Really? I'm surprised.
No. He must be something.
Well, but it's a mule, not a donkey. So they tend to be a little stubborn is what I hear. And people do tend to feel that way about them.
Oh, his name's Jesse. His name's... That's so funny.
Gwen, what don't you like about the mule? Or, yeah, I'm curious because I'm curious.
I could think of some things he's probably doing, but
she's not.
Yeah, what does he do?
Oof, darn fly.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that little ladybug out there. That's what I call her, that little donkey. She looks like a donkey. She's a goat.
Little lady?
Yes, I love her so much. I go out there every day and she will get out of the pen because she's in the pen now. And she'll get out of the pen and she'll come run to see me. And I can pick her up and hug her. And I rock her like a baby. And I sing her a little song. And she'll put her little head on my shoulder. I just love her. She's getting heavier and fatter. But hey, Charles, good to see you.
Hey, Charles, hope you're doing well, my friend. Hey, our new land.
Hey, Devin.
I want a mini donkey, but Ryan won't go for it.
I would love a mini donkey too.
Can awesome. I just tell you, you know how people have like these emus?
Yeah.
When I listed the pigs, an emu ad came up and somebody had hatched out and had these emus that were a few months old. Guess how much they were asking for them?
How much?
$300 a piece.
What?
Yep.
Wow. I didn't know they were that expensive.
I didn't either. Oh, wow. I got you.
Oh, here it is. She's telling
blame you.
Into everything. Pulls hoses. He's too smart for his own good. That's what's happening here.
Yeah. I'm a no on the
pulls off too. If you're working on stuff. Is he Henri? Oh my gosh, he could be like a Dennis the Menace.
He is, yeah. First to find the hole in the fence.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted an emu, but then I learned more, so I don't want one now.
Yeah, we had to. One of our goat boys is in a pen, like attached to the other pens, but by himself because it's got some chain link on it. And he's in there, and I'm like, we need to put another goat in there with him. And my husband's like, the goat we want to put in there with him knows how to get up under fences. He's afraid he's going to teach him how to do that.
Set up a hog trap. 10 minutes later, he was in it. Rotten. Good to hear, Charles. Sending you prayers, my friend. Bless you. Bless you.
Okay, I think I'm done. Thank you.
I'm all snuffly myself today.
Allergies.
Yeah. Alpacas, yep.
So the next thing I made yogurt again. And I did a video. I haven't edited it yet. I'm behind on that, but I'm going to edit it. I'm going to mention your video in that, Gwen, with the dehydrator, because I think that's genius. Hey, Ann, good to see you. Hey, Life in the Piedmont.
Hey, Tina.
But I want to make the chèvre cheese. And Leanne did a video on making chèvre cheese, Mennonite Farmhouse. And it looks so easy, from goat's milk. And then who was I watching? I was watching somebody else, and they made a cheesecake with the chèvre cheese. Like, because the question was, that I had in my brain. So I saw that and answered my question. Is like, can you cook with it and things, or is it just good to put on, chèvre? Oh, thank you for that. Okay. So the chèvre cheese, I want to make that. That's like next on my to-do list. Chèvre cheese and pickled jalapenos.
Gwen has been making ricotta. She's also made cream cheese, yogurt. So she's got a lot of videos.
Yeah. Hey, Gwen, since you've been making milk stuff with the goat's milk, I saw you're looking for ways to use it, and you've made some of the cheeses. Which one do you think is the easiest one to do? Looked like the chèvre cheese was the easiest. That's why I was going to start with that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It looked pretty easy to me. She does make everything look easy. Let's hope that it really is, or I'm screwed. Yeah, very similar to cream cheese. I'm trying to eliminate like the things that we have to buy. And cream cheese is something we buy. We buy all cheeses, but if I could like knock out the cream cheese one, that would be awesome.
One of the things, like, our new Leanne said, Leanne is multi-talented. It's also, you have to have that love for cooking. Like, I don't. Yeah. So for me, I don't want to make stuff. Like, I make stuff, don't get me wrong. But the reality of it is when you love to do something.
Very awesome.
It's a lot different. No, I think that's cool.
Yeah. I used to not enjoy cooking that much. Like, I really did. I wasn't a fan of cooking, only because I had to leave the house to go to work. I worked all day. I had sometimes, depending on what office I was going into, I might not get home. Like, the commute might be 45 minutes. And then God for help if I have to stop at the grocery store or something on the way home. Many times I'd be stopping and getting fast food. The cost of being employed, I'm telling you. Yep. And then when I got home, we had a pest control company and I worked in the office. So then I'd work more. It was a horrible time for about 5 years, I think was the hardest. Hey, Jeannie's Point. But I did not enjoy cooking because it was a chore. It was like one more thing to do. When I started being able to work from home, hey Mickelson family, when I started being able to work from home and where I could go in the kitchen and just, I don't know, take my time, I guess, and cook what I wanted, then I started to enjoy it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like that was how that worked for me.
Like, I've been making homemade ice cream, like without the machine. I do it with my KitchenAid, and like I took that blueberry
that's awesome
freezer jam
Uh-huh.
and mixed it in and made like a blueberry ice cream. So it was really good.
You need to do a
Um,
video on that.
okay. Gosh, you always want me to do videos.
I do, because I want to see how you're doing this, because I would love to make homemade ice cream.
It's super easy. I made chocolate with Reese's chips the other day. And it's just like, but I like to do that stuff. I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's hot this week, so like we're having quiche tonight.
That's another good one, to use up some eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's got their thing. I don't mind laundry, but I hate floors. Grandpa's the floor guy. I don't mind sweeping and vacuuming. I hate mopping a floor.
Oh, I don't mind mopping.
It's funny.
Yeah,
how
that's good. I used to have that fro nana or something like that. I used to make that stuff. It was pretty good.
Yeah. I'm trying to watch sugar, though. I'm trying to watch a lot of stuff because I don't know. Does anybody in the chat ever have, like, their memory fail them? Like, you can't think of someone's name. You can't think of what something was called. I don't usually forget where I put things because I'm kind of organized. Well, only kinda. But for whatever reason, I don't forget where I put things. We'll put it that way. I don't forget stuff at work yet, but I might forget names. I forgot I owned a pair of boots and I bought the same dang pair of boots, which kind of scares me. And I'm horrible about getting lost, but that's been happening since I was young. So I don't think that's anything really.
Every day.
So anyways, it happens enough that I was worrying myself. So I bought this book because I thought, well, holy crap, man, if anybody's going to help fix me, it better be me. I'm the only one in the family that's like really into, herbal stuff, and food is medicine. I'm very big on food is medicine. So while I do practice the herbs and things, you'll often hear me talk about foods that will help, because food is medicine is like my first go-to. So I'm reading this book and it's saying, for anybody who's forgetting things, don't just dismiss it. This is like, people don't just wake up and have Alzheimer's. This is like a slowly progressing disease that unfortunately hits a lot of people. My grandfather had it. And as I'm reading this, I'm like, holy cow, maybe that's what's been wrong with my mom all these years. But it hits people in different ways too. Yes, sassy gal. That's what the book is saying. So I've read part 1 and I'm on part 2, but it was really cool because the last chapter, or is it the chapter before? Yeah, here it goes. The last chapter I read, look, it was titled How to Give Yourself Alzheimer's. Clearly nobody wants to give themselves Alzheimer's. But if you read through like a typical day, it's basically due to the typical American life and the lifestyle, including not just your diet, but what you eat. And then he drops really, it's a very easy read. Like I've been like Mountain Grandpa, before we started this, I was showing Lisa the book and starting to speak to it a little bit. And he's like, no, not more of this. And then he went outside because I've been bugging him about it for the last 3 days. But basically that's what it says. Sassy gal, it says it's caused by inflammation, hormones, lack of nutrition. So you're missing nutrition for your brain, and just the toxic buildup. And one thing I heard about sugar that was interesting to me, because you could tell me, like, I know that sugar causes inflammation. Like, I don't know. I feel like everybody knows it causes inflammation and it's bad for us. But what I didn't know and I thought was kind of cool was apparently, so we all know you eat sugar, it raises your insulin because your insulin has to, like, I don't know, gobble up your glucose or whatever to help lower your glucose levels in your blood. Well, when your insulin's done doing that, your insulin has to be excreted from your body, and it doesn't just go away. It has to bind with something to go away. And what it binds with is called, let's see if I remember it. Remember, that's why I'm reading the book. An insulin degrading enzyme. Yep, IDE, that's what it's called. So the IDE that goes to eat up the insulin, guess what else it does?
What?
It eats up the amyloid plaque that's in your brain. And by the way, the amyloid plaque is just like, I don't know, your brain's form of cholesterol that goes and
Yep.
coats all of your synapses, or, the little gangly things that react with each other to make you have a thought. It coats those to protect them from things, to protect them from toxins and inflammation. So the IDE is responsible for eating up that amyloid plaque. And guess what? You don't just create more IDE to also go eat up your insulin. So if you're eating sugar or getting this regular all day dose of sugar from soda pop, or maybe, a root beer float at night, my guilty pleasure, root beer float, man. Hey, LP. So then if your IDE is used up to eat up the insulin because of the sugar, it can't go eat up the amyloid plaque. So you might actually find that maybe you're having some really bad brain. I call it a bad brain day. I have bad brain days. That's what I call it. Maybe you have a bad brain day because you ate a crap ton of sugar for the last several days and your IDE is not able to go and eat up your insulin. So anyways, that's the kind of information I'm getting from this book that I personally find helpful. I don't know if anyone else is interested, but I hope you all found that kind of interesting.
I'm writing down the name of it.
I find it fascinating. So I get pretty excited talking about it.
I might have a hard time reading it just because of dealing with my mom.
Well, I bought a darning. I want to speak to that because my mom had a lot of shoulder surgeries when she was in her early 40s. And she started having anxiety when she was driving, and just anxiety in general. So then she went on some anxiety medication. I don't know. And she was on that medication up until just a couple years ago. And she's 82. Higher and higher and higher doses, and then extra meds to go with it. And I never felt like I had a decent conversation with my mom in probably decades. And I'm not kidding. And it's really sad. And what I read in this book was that people will start to, because there's actually a story. Okay, here I go again, guys. I got to get excited for a minute. There's a story in here from a lady who, if you go to the doctor, they're going to say, okay, here's some medication. We can't reverse this. There's no way to undo it. We can just prevent it from happening as quickly, but otherwise you're screwed. Like, that's what they tell you. And if you have the ApoE4, if you get the genetic testing done and you test positive for ApoE4, that's what it's called, ApoE4. That's all I can tell you. Then that means you're like, yeah, ApoE4. Then you're like screwed. And be careful about. All right, I am not giving any medical advice. I don't know anything. I'm just reading this book. Okay, I'm not a doctor.
This is a book review.
This is a book review. And according to this book, this person she came back from dementia and she was 65. She followed this doctor's protocol because that's what this book is by. Hold on. You see him?
Yeah.
He created a protocol for coming back from this. And so there's actually a chapter in here called How Does It Feel? There we go. To come back from dementia. And this lady's like obviously super smart because she spoke Chinese and Russian. And she says, I quit using some words that would be easier to say things. Like, what is one of these words? I'm like, okay, here we go. Instead of thinking about something over and over, instead of saying that, she would normally say perseverating. Not my terminology. Hence, I think she's really smart. And
I used to use that word all the time.
Did you really?
Yeah, and work.
Perseverating?
Never. When you're stuck on something.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that. Apparently my vocabulary is not as large. And then instead of saying someone was very social, she would say gregarious. I've also never said that. I just said they're like, a social butterfly. But anyhow, instead of saying that, she had to use smaller words because she couldn't think of them. She didn't get a mental boost from caffeine. She had difficulty speaking foreign languages that she was otherwise fluent in. And she spoke Chinese and Russian. Another reason I think she was like a freaking genius or something. Because I mean, I speak Spanish and I can speak some French, but very little French because I haven't used it. And honestly, learning them both wasn't that hard. It's a Latin language. So then like Chinese and Russian, there's no similarity there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like none. But anyways, so she started to get really tired around 3 or 4 o'clock, like mentally exhausted. And I'll even tell people that, like, my brain's tired. You can actually feel your brain get tired, and
Yeah.
I've said that before. 4 o'clock fatigue is what they call it. Difficulty thinking, decreasing processing speed. She actually started getting high anxiety about driving and finding her way because maybe the impulse to slow down at a stoplight or the impulse to get out of someone's way or something like that. And she also mentions that she started finding conversations really exhausting, and she would find herself contributing less and less in a conversation, whether it was on something complex or just a simple chat with folks. She found herself communicating less and less. And these are things that I've seen in my mom. And now every time I talk to her, she says, "Where are you?" And that's kind of how her voice sounds.
Yeah.
"Where are you?"
Yeah.
Bless her heart. And I'm like, "Mom, you know where I am. I'm in Missouri. You know where I am." But anyways, I'm reading this and I'm like, wow, like she kind of hurt my feelings not wanting to talk on the phone a lot. We didn't get to have a lot of great talks. And honestly, it made me sad on many levels. And even back to like when she was in her 40s, I had just had, my daughter. And
Yep.
anyways, so it's really reading it is helping me to like, I guess, open my eyes as to maybe what she was going through. And I'm not saying that I'm exhibiting everything I see here. But if I get any kind of, because it's in my family. Oh, and another thing, whoopsie daisy. She had the testing done. And because testing came back positive, she was declined for long-term health insurance. Like long-term insurance, the long-term care, not health, long-term care insurance. And she was actually going to commit suicide. Remember, Robin Williams pieced out because of this. She was going to commit suicide because she had to quit her job. She did something that required a lot of critical thinking, and she didn't have the ability to do that. And so she had to quit her job. She's now, at the time of this book, and it's not a brand new book, but at the time of this book, she was 73. She started this protocol, and she describes in that chapter what it's like to come back from dementia and the awakening. And she describes it as like coming out of water or taking headphones on that are playing music and then taking those off and being able to converse and think again. Yeah. So it's really fascinating to me. And anyways, yeah. If anybody's interested, I will update in the future. Otherwise, I'm sorry. Sorry, I've gone on and on. I feel pretty passionate about it.
No, I don't blame you.
Sorry to hear that, suburban hillbilly. And hey, Ormsby Farms, good to see you.
Hey, Tina Ladybug.
And sorry about your mom too, Lisa.
Thank you.
My grandpa had it and it was awful.
It is.
And it hurts. It hurts to be feeling like you're forgotten.
Yep.
You don't see the person that you used to see. My mom was in upper management. She was a real smart lady.
Yep.
She got me my first job in an office.
Thank you, Tina.
Okay, here we go. I bought a darning foot for my sewing machine so I could learn how to stipple quilt. I didn't know you needed one of those, but I've been wanting to learn how to quilt too. Ended up buying another. Very cool. Thank you, Sassy Gal. Anytime I get, I'm just like really stubborn, and I don't like to hear that we don't have a chance, that we don't have a chance with our
Right.
health, that we don't have a chance to survive, that that we don't have a chance. And that's just the one thing. And I guess maybe I'm a little type A or something. I know I'm a little
Just a
I
little
got my
bit.
own, just a little bit.
Bit.
I got my own little version going on. I'm not
Un
like super
poquito.
un poquito. I'm not super bossy pants, but I do get a little type A about things, and that's one of them. So if I feel like I'm forgetting stuff now, I don't want to traverse down this path if I can do anything about it. So I'll keep you
Right.
guys updated if you want. If you want to hear, I'll update you on my book. Yeah. What have you been? I know you're a reader too, Lisa. What have you been reading lately?
I actually haven't. I've been crocheting.
Oh, cool.
I've been trying to do a lot more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Got something in my eye. Yeah, I've been trying to do a lot more of that recently.
Awesome. What kind of projects you working on?
A lot of cotton stuff. See you, Jerry.
Thank you for coming, Jerry.
Like some farmers market bags and some dishcloths and washcloths kind of thing. Some fun stuff. Instant gratification.
Yeah, right? Yes,
I
go
like
walk,
cotton.
Jerry. That's one of the things that we're supposed to be doing, increasing circulation, because that's supposed to help.
I like cotton yarn, so and you can buy
Oh,
them.
yeah.
You can buy them in the big cone,
Uh-huh.
and it's only
I've never
nine.
bought
It's only like $9. It limits your colors, but at least you
one.
have like a lot of yarn compared to the cotton
Uh-huh.
skeins, because the skeins
Yeah.
now are half the size that they were,
Huh.
and
Right?
they're like
Like
$3, $4.
everything else. Mm-hmm.
So
How many? How much?
they're like
20.
$4, I think.
Oh, Ford.
It
Where do
used to
you
be you
usually
could
buy
make 2
them?
washcloths for them, but so in now, like I said, I've been making farmers market bags. They're pretty cool. They're like the big net ones, like
Yeah.
so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I've never crocheted a bag before. I'm working on an Afghan
Oh, nice.
for one of the grandbabies,
Aw.
because the one that I'm making it for is Eris, who is 5, and she has one from when she's a baby, but I made one for Sissy. But now they're at that age, and I'm holding Sissy's. I haven't given it to her yet, because if I do, Eris is too big for hers, and she's going to be sad. So now I got to make
Yep.
Eris a new one. And then I'll have to make one for little dude, Mr. Buddy. So that's what's
Aw.
got me busy. But I've never crocheted a bag before. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really easy. I usually try the one skein ones. So.
And quilting. So my sewing room my craft room is not completely set up yet. So I haven't done any sewing. Plus, honestly, I've been too busy. It's almost like something that I tend to do more in the winter.
Yep.
Because I'm in, but I can't. I want to learn how to quilt. Wow. I have some from my grandma too, but she didn't have 38 grandkids. That's amazing.
That's incredible.
What's on your to-do list for this week, Lisa?
It's hot, so not much.
Good for you.
The garden, just keeping an eye on the greenhouses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And some other things that are not related to YouTube, but just some doc follow-up and stuff like that. How about you?
I gotta make the pickled jalapenos. So I called our local feed store to see about when they get the meat birds, because we were thinking it'd be nice just to be able to know when they're there and go get them up there. I might not go that route, but I feel like I've got time. I'm going to check with them when they get them. But I've got to make pickled jalapenos, and then I want to make that Chev cheese, because next week I'll be using all of the milk to make, yogurt you make every 2 weeks basically. So this would be my cheese week. And then I need to get my video up from making yogurt. I'm behind on editing my videos for YouTube. Those are my hot potatoes. Got any grapes? Ah! I appreciate that though, Gear. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Sorry about the sewing room, but it's good he's home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe
but
it's
it's
not.
good
I
that
don't
he's
know.
home. I think that it is. I think it's always good to have your spouse around you.
Did you grow jalapenos?
I grew jalapenos,
Nice.
but they're not all done yet, so I haven't harvested those ones. But I picked up a bunch. It was like at the farmer's market, and it was hay, milk, and honey. It was at the end of the day for being out there, and they offered me a deal on them, and I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to take them because I buy pickled jalapenos, and I'd really like to make my own. I mean, so
That's
it's
cool.
it's a first for me. I've never made pickled jalapenos.
That's
So
cool.
we'll see how it goes. But
I'm
trying to eliminate what I buy,
Yep. No, makes sense. I have these peppers that I bought the starts at the nursery. They're like long and green, but they're not jalapenos. And I'm waiting for them to turn red. And then I bought 2 jalapeno starts and they look good. And now the nursery's down to like quarter starts. I'm going to see if they have any vegetables left besides they have a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Are you
going
to, real quick, and I know we're at the top of the hour, but are you going to plant for the fall? What are you
It's usually a waste. What I will do is what I've thought about doing is the onions that are in the black stock tank that I planted in.
Yeah.
I was going to put some lettuce in there.
Awesome.
The only thing we've harvested is some herbs, and then we harvested a head of broccoli. We got 1 head of broccoli.
Only thing that I've harvested has been my turnip greens. I have gotten several potfuls. Well, okay, 2. I got 2 potfuls of turnip greens out of my turnip green plants. Yeah, and I'm thinking about pulling them up and planting some more because obviously, like the turnips. I don't know. Maybe it's because I cut all the turnip greens off because that's what I really love about turnips is the turnip greens. But I'm thinking about just pulling them up and planting new ones. I don't know if they're going to provide for me again, but I might just leave them to see if they do. And then some tomatoes. And the grandbabies have loved. I wish I would have got a picture before they started eating them, before we all started eating all the cherry tomatoes on the front porch. I am always going to have cherry tomatoes on my front porch from now on for the rest of my life because there's nothing better than we have like a bench out there that we like to sit on. And there's nothing better than having like that tomato plant right there because it's like a snack for when you're out on the porch. I love it. And the babies love picking the cherry tomatoes and just popping them in their mouth and eating a whole tomato. They love that.
Did you see what Gwen said? Wear gloves. She is so right on. Let me tell you.
I cook with jalapenos a lot. So yeah. You know what I use actually is I have like sandwich baggies, the cheap kind that don't zip up or none of that. And you can just stick your hand in one of them sandwich baggies. And that's kind of what I always do. Just because we
always have a ton of gloves on hand between the animals and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. But anybody got any questions for us before we end today?
We already answered Gears. Pickled jalapenos are easy and so much better than store-bought. Nice.
Yeah, I can't wait. Pretty excited about that, actually.
Oh, Gear Gryden said yes.
Oh, I'll bet it does. I have one of those.
Yeah, I have one of those too. Those things are dangerous.
I mean, not to sound lazy, but I really hate washing it. Hey, MB Heritage Farms.
Ready for this hot week ahead of us? Yes, I am. I mean, he's talking to you, though.
Yeah, I know. We've got a hot week this week. Ready or not, here it is for sure. but it'll pass. That's what's cool. Like we lived in the valley enough in Arizona enough years to be able to handle the heat. Even with humidity, like what's cool is when it gets hot here, that we've got like a week of really hot weather, and then it's cools off a little bit and still gets warmer. Thank you so much, Gear.
Thanks, Gear. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Lisa, any updates for your channel you want to share?
No, I'm just super behind with everything, but
I think a lot of people are in that place.
It's busy,
the time of year.
It's summertime, so.
Yeah, summertime busy. I'm working on it. So I woke up the other morning and I couldn't go back to sleep because I had this tune in my head that was a song and it said Pink Lemonade. And so then I laid there thinking, hey, that sounded pretty good. What else can I put with that? And so thinking about all these the summertime song that I may or may not write. We'll see. Who knows? It might not be done till next year or the year after, but it is summertime. Good. Enough so that it has me thinking about possible summertime songs while I'm sleeping. Thought I'd share that. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you all for coming in, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.